darling, I would follow you to Norway or anywhere you wanted, 'cause I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. One day, when we're getting wrinkly and our hair's grey, a rusty old banger in the driveway, one of us will maybe wear a toupee, but I will be in love with you.
Ooh, welcome, incredible impact makers. Welcome to another amazing Public Speaking Academy workshop. Oh, today we're going to talk about a very cool topic. You're going to go next level with the delivery and how you're speaking, because it's not just what you say, it's also how you say it. Actually, how you say it can matter so much. You know, there's these studies out there, you've probably heard them before, about the certain percentage that is conveyed through words and all the rest that is more conveyed through nonverbal communication. Now, what we're going to do today is how you convey the words, so not so much the nonverbal communication, but the wording itself. Super, super important. But before we do that, the stage is yours right now, because I want to hear some wins. Some of you were there yesterday as well. We heard some incredible new developments, new podcasts that are online, amazing momentum. But I want to open the floor for everybody to do some rapid fire wins for you to see what is going on and what's possible. Who would love to start? Nicole.
I'll start. Apologies for missing yesterday. It sounded great and I'm just completely stressed. So I got to just purge and get it all out of my system. So it's been a hellish week, a lot of deadlines before the break. But this week, Monday, I got the email that I made it to the interview round for the TEDx. Of course, it's a panic because they want the interview tomorrow and want the outline and the assets today, which neither one was written. So that's happening, and I'm leaving for a conference today, driving to it because I have to give a keynote on Thursday. So that's
Wow.
a lot of wins this week, and it's a lot of stress. But Luke talked me off the balcony, and my research assistant ChatGPT also helped me to organize my thoughts. And so I think I met all the deadlines, and yeah, so I feel like that's a win and I can breathe. So thank you very much for letting me purge.
Let's go, Nicole. That's incredible. Who would love to trade with Nicole right now? It's like I'll take the stress with it. It's okay, right? Because sometimes your current problems are someone else's dreams, and I think that's a nice way to see these wins as well. It's like, whoa, I'm at a place where, you know, like the further I get, the bigger the problems, and I am really excited about the level of problems I'm experiencing right now, or the level of stress that's connected to those new opportunities. So well done, beautiful. And amazing to give yourself the opportunity to pivot fast as well. right? Because that's what we're doing here in like reality. It's like it's not just creating one incredible talk. I know that you've been thinking like, is it going to be more the personal development? Is it more the educational part? But what you're learning is a skill to adapt really fast. So it's really beautiful that you're able to put that into real practice in real life and really experience how much of 5 6 weeks can already do to how you're looking at this. Beautiful, Nicole. Well done. Congrats. Sean.
Yes, good morning. Well, for me at least. But um, Mondays, unfortunately, I can't make it. I wish I could. I'm going to watch the replays. So I am bummed about that. But so I was able to get all my stories together, my ending and everything. And I got it all positioned in for the first go around. So I'm really excited about that. I threw it into the chat and it really did more of a through line as well. And I was lucky enough to be able to hop on a call yesterday with Daphne for an hour, and we shared both of our talks, our speeches, if you will, keynotes. And hers was incredible, first and foremost. She had so many great things that were in there. But it was my first time that I had read it to somebody. So it was really nice to kind of get her feedback and to see what was working. And so that's kind of where I'm at.
Let's go. Let's go. That's beautiful. And I love that you're leveraging the community because sometimes it's hard to ask for help. Like, hey, who would love to listen to mine? Who would love to practice? But what's happening is when someone else gives feedback, they're anchoring the theory for themselves. And when you're watching someone else and seeing how they implement the learnings, you can start to see how this can work for yourself as well as how to change your opening or your hook or your call to action or your 3 teaching points. How did they do this? Right? How can I make sure that the logical brain and the emotional brain is both involved? Absolutely amazing. Well done, Sean. One more. One more win. Daphne.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, it was great meeting up with Sean. I apologize for Carolyn on behalf because I was supposed to meet with Carolyn instead at the same time, and I double booked myself. So I wanted to formally apologize to you for my absent-mindedness. So I wanted to. My win is that I've been working on my speech. I had my laser coaching with Lori. I had a lot of positive feedback. I feel really good about it. And then, so what I thought was already good, got feedback from Lori to make it even better. And I've been working on it, and it's just like my mind is blown to see the actual potential of the communication of the speech. So I wanted to thank you.
Yes, welcome. Absolutely amazing. And that's so cool about these one-on-ones, which by the way, all of you get, right? Closer to your gig. I saw most of you who are coming up already planned it, so beautiful. That what you're doing is so much better than you probably give yourself credit for. Right? That's number one. You probably are doing so much better than you give yourself credit for. And then B, there's always level of improvement. I said to you, Daphne, right? If I would not see opportunities, then what are we even doing here? There's always a next level, always at the same time. And we cannot emphasize it enough. There will always, can we say that out loud together? Always, always. How many presentations? 3 you always give. I saw you moving your lips, Alex. Do you remember what those are? You can unmute yourself if you want to.
What was the question? That was the
The
three.
the 3 presentations you always do. You remember what they are?
Yeah. The one I'm planning to do,
Yes.
the one I give, and the
Yes.
one I wish I have given.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. The one you planned, the one you gave, and the one you wanted to. Absolutely, Anya. Well done. So there will always be 3. So when you do this prep, there's always like, and in Evo's case, like, did I need to do a video for this? I didn't know, right? It's like the one you planned or did not even plan. Then the one you did, in the moment or on video, which was incredible. And then there's always level 3, is what was good and what can be better. Always. Those will always be there. Also for you, Nicole, when you do your interview tomorrow, you will always have things that you want to improve next. That's not a sign of prepared it right or wrong. That's a sign of having a high standard and always want to improve. So know that that feeling will always be there. And the more we can anticipate on it, the less disappointed we will be. Because that emotion is not helping. When we're looking at what can be improved, okay, let's go. So I want more iterations now. And you get excited about the feeling, that's where real growth comes. And that's also, and this is not the promise I want to make for you. This is the invitation, the wish that I have for you, is that you can find this process fun, that you can enjoy it instead of suffering through this. Who's willing to do that? Who's willing to consider it could be fun, right? That's the commitment you're making. Absolutely beautiful. And what we're talking about today, what we're going to work on today, what we're going to practice today is the delivery. And this delivery, guys, when knowing how to implement this, number one, you're never going to watch speakers the same way ever again. When something lands, you will probably notice that they are doing this trick, what I'm about to share with you, and how you're and what you're going to practice today. Number two is when something is inspiring but it's not really touching you, you'll probably going to notice that they're not implementing this. Like it's this impactful that it can completely change the way of you experience something in a positive or a negative way just by implementing this skill on the delivery side. And we're going to experience it all together. And what we're going to do is we're going to think of a story that you want to share. Who already knows, right? When we're talking about stories, we're talking about the story library, about bringing a lot of stories in one place. And then the next step is choosing the right stories. I'm not talking right now that you need to choose the right story, right? I'm just asking you to pick a story. With a raise of hands, who can think of one story right now? And I want to see all of you. It can either be a story that you already chose for your keynote. It can be a story that you journaled down. It can be a story that when you tell me, I'm like, that's not a story, that's a whole timeline. Right now, that doesn't even matter. I just want you to connect with one story now, because the exercise will explain itself through just picking one story. Okay, we did that. Everybody has one story in their mind's eye that you're going to use for this lesson specifically, just for the sake of practice. Perfect. Then that one story, I would love for you to grab a piece of paper and then to journal and write down 7 bullet points for yourself that will help you remember this story. 7 bullet points, not 6, not 8, 7. 7 bullet points for you to remember the story. Right now, yes. So think about that one story and just write down 7 bullet points for yourself to remember this story. And when you are finished, I would love for you to look in the camera and make a really awkward big smile. Carolyn is done. I love that. That's a beautiful smell. It's the smell of a dentist. And Luke is finished. If you're keep writing because you want to prevent yourself from smiling, then this is your time to just look at the camera and smile. We've got 30 more seconds to finish the exercise, the 7 bullet points. I see you, Ivo. 15 more seconds. Daphne, I love your smile. Sean, great smile. Laverne, Nicole, great smile. The last 10 seconds to write down your bullet points. Ooh, Anya, I like that smile. Charlene, that's beautiful. Alex, it's far away in between those helicopters, but I see you. There you go. Peru, beautiful. Absolutely amazing. What we're going to do is we're going to do an experiment. Right now, this is your baseline story. What we're going to do is we're going to get in breakout rooms in a little bit. You will be with one other person. We will do this pretty fast. You'll get 4 minutes in total. So less than 2 minutes with switching included to tell your story to the other person. Okay? When we come back, I'm going to ask you a reflection question on how you told that story without any specific instructions. Then I'm going to give you an extra instruction and we're going to go to another Zoom room for you to include that new instruction. Then we will come back and then you'll get a new instruction and you're going to tell the same story. You don't have complete 100% like certainty that you will be with the same person every single time in the breakout room. All right? What you will do is you will tell the same story. Okay, so you will tell the same story in different ways based on the instructions you're getting, but you might hear different stories from different people. Okay, so this is not just for you to share it, this is also for you to meet more people in this group, but also to hear different kind of stories. And what you're going to notice is that one story is going to spark something for you inside of yourself. Okay, so for the first round, you will be in a breakout room with one other person. You will be there for 4 minutes in total. And what I want you to do is I want you to tell the story that you just wrote down in the way to just make sense for you right now. There's no right or wrong. The only wrong is if you're like, oh, but you seem so excited. You take the whole 4 minutes. No, I'm all here for support. I'm just this altruistic, amazing person. You are, but we're not gonna do that, okay? The only way that you're gonna succeed is when you open your mouth and you start sharing the story that might be imperfect. Great. That's why you're here. So getting a 2 thumbs up if the exercise is completely clear. Beautiful, beautiful. Then the breakout rooms open in a second. 4 minutes will be on the clock. You will get a notification when you want to turn, when it's halfway. And you are going to start, okay? You are gonna start. Ready? Set? Let's go.
call us crazy. To a world that we design.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take.
It's all it's gonna take. All right, you guys. Who had someone incredible in your breakout room and you really enjoyed listening to their story? Look around. Everybody's raising their hand. That means that they're talking about you. There was only one other person in the room. Isn't that cool? Absolutely incredible. I would love to hear some experiences of how it was to listen to the 2 minutes, because I see your view here in the chat, Anya, and I'm really curious how it was to listen, right? Because sometimes we have this experience on how it's to share because you have an expectation of what you want to share, but someone else does not. So how was it to listen to? Ivo.
I was the most lucky guy in the whole team because I had the opportunity to be in it with Sean. And he's such a great storyteller. He tells the story with so much passion, with so much love about it was about his daughter. And I really could feel his feelings. And oh, it was so moving. Thank you, Sean, for this experience.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Who else? Who else was the most luckiest person in the world? Laverne.
I had the opportunity to listen, to be in the room with Anya, and I'm a sucker for a love story. And her story was how she met her husband. And oh my God, I felt like I was at the movies. So thank you, Anya, for sharing your story.
That is so good. So good. Isn't it fun, right? Someone has the experience like it was hard to share, and then someone else who listened to the same story was like, this was great. Alex, what about you?
So I was with Daphne. And first of all, she finished in 1 minute or below than 1 minute. I don't know how you do this. I was going on for the whole time, but was really nice. The topic of having your goal in front of you and just be resilient enough to push through. And this you can put in any situation in life, in business, private, wherever. Have the big goal in front of you and just go your way and listen to yourself and believe in you. Yeah. So this is what I took out of the story.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Barud, what about you?
So I was in the room with Carolyn, and it was lovely to face your fears, and it's all just in your head, which was very, very beautiful message. And I felt like I was in Morocco with her. So it was really a nice story. Thank you, Carolyn.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Last one, Sean.
So I was with Evo, and I love it because he talked about his family too. He talked about his two sons and the things that he might be missing out on when he works so much, and he knew that things had to change. So that touched me as well because once again, being a dad myself, understanding how those moments are really important too. I also share with him too that he set the standard last week with being under the time frame. So I modeled that to make sure I was in the time frame too. So I want to thank him for that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You see that you're so much more inspiring than you might realize, right? Sean is now talking about something that Ivo did last week, right? Just by sharing a story under 60 seconds. So what we're going to do now is I'm not going to give you a new instruction yet. We're going to do the exact same exercise, exact same. But now you're going to be in a breakout room with someone else. So you're going to tell the exact same story, the exact same way with someone else. All right? You have 30 seconds to prepare, the exact same time that will be needed to prepare your breakout rooms. So get ready to share it the exact same way again. You get 4 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes each. The breakout rooms will be open in 3, 2, 1. See you back in 4.
dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see,
To the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
a million dreams are keeping me
A million dreams, a million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Welcome back, superstars. Same question. Who was in a breakout room with someone incredible? You're like, this was so fast. You guys, this is insane. I want to hear some reactions. I want to hear some reactions from the people you were listening to. The people you were listening to. Barut.
So my laptop is so funny. When I lift my hand, it does that. I'm raising hand.
Isn't that
I
cool?
think so.
So now you're
But no,
chosen.
I was in the room with Daphne, and she just made this very, very beautiful reminder actually about daydreaming. That so don't stop dreaming. It's not just for children, it's for us as well. So manifest and write everything down, write your goals down, and even if it fails, you just keep going, and you will make it happen. So yeah, thank you, Daphne, for this reminder. Beautiful daydreaming. I wrote it down.
Let's
Thank you.
go. Let's go. And Barut, how was it for you to share a second time? Was there any difference? How you
Uh, so I think a bit more like clearer.
Mm,
I knew what to say.
mm. Isn't that fun? Without any further instructions, the exact same exercise. The second time was already clearer, right?
Yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Daphne.
thank you.
And I was in the room with Barut, and I love her name, by the way. I complimented her on her name. Her story reminded me of that. No matter how, as she was telling the story, I was following her through the scenery that she was describing, and it was beautiful. And the end result of the story was that her intention was one thing, but what they actually end up doing was something so much better than what they anticipated. So they were working so hard to get to something. In this case, it was a meal, and the meal ended up being so much better than they thought because they were rerouted. And I thought that the meaning of the story was in life, sometimes we're working so hard to get somewhere, and if we just let go, we end up better than what we thought.
That's beautiful. And how was the experience for yourself? Second round.
Better. Yeah,
Mm,
I think it came out better. It changed a little bit.
mm.
It became more clearer and more. I was able to relay the information in a more clearer way.
Cool. Well done. Well done. Charlene, what about you?
I was in the room with Laverne, and what struck me immediately is that she's a very visual storyteller. So she really got me very excited about this image that she was describing and what it meant to her and how she works with her clients. And I thought, yeah, this would be a great story for her clients because it made what she was talking about so accessible and so meaningful, and a seemingly mundane piece of food became exciting in the way she described it. And I really appreciated that about her.
Let's go. Isn't that cool? Charlene, how was it for you to do it a
It
second?
was really good because the story that I chose, I thought it's the wrong story. It's way, way too long when I told it to Nicole. And so I did it and I had a couple of seconds, so I did it in about 2.5 minutes. But it's actually the perfect story for what I teach and what I'm talking about. So I think I probably will use it for my talk, but I've now learned to shorten it and to get to the
Let's
essence, to boil it down to
go.
the essence of the story, and the meaning of it is really good. So
Let's go. Oh, this is really good.
I look forward to getting into 2 minutes, but burning it down to the essence was really surprising. I thought it was
Yes,
just a technical exercise, but it's
beautiful.
a technical exercise.
That
It's
was
a
because of the incredible instructions I was giving.
it was
I would
your
give
instructions,
myself a lot of
Lori.
credit here. Well done.
Make it 2 minutes.
Well done. Super. Last one, Ivo.
I was so lucky that I was in a room with Anya, and I liked it. When she starts telling her story, I was hanging on her lips and couldn't wait. What's next? What's next? Oh, she's such a great storyteller. I really enjoyed it so much. It was excellent and completely different than Sean. So I like this exercise, seeing
Yes.
different stories, and they're completely different. And anyway, they work excellent. So that's great. It was a great experience.
So good. So good. And how is it for you to do it a second time, Ivo?
Yes, like most people said, you're getting more clarity. Every time you get more in details, different details, and you think, this works good. Change this, try this. It's like playing around, and I really like that. Enjoy that.
Yes. So good. Who experienced it as well? That the second round was easier? That the second round was better? That the second round you felt more comfortable? More confident? More certain? Right? Isn't that fun? It's like a 2-minute story the second time, and then you already are able to improve so much. And it's really fun to hear how other people perceive your story because and this was just beautiful what happened in the chat, right, Anya, when you said like it was so hard to do, and then literally the first compliment was Anya was so great. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun how you experience something versus how someone else's experiences something? And by the way, who here feels more connected as person to person with the two people you were in the breakout room with? Now, why is that? You're learning something about them, right? And that's what we've been talking about forever is how do you, and this was beautiful yesterday as well in the community for people who were there. There was a question with, how do I pick the right story? And I can answer that question for all of you in a 2 sentence answer, and we can talk about it for 2 days. Like it's a complex and yet so simple one. Because there is not such a thing as a right story. A keynote is not a chronological explanation of your life events. No one cares about your life events, right? When we're talking about what is the right story, we're talking about how can you reverse engineer a transformation that you want to facilitate, and how can you pick stories that will facilitate the journey. And can you do that with the story you just chose? 100%. 100%. And I don't even know which one you chose. Like how we want to make these decisions on how to pick the right story is that the community, the coolness, and the credibility are all kind of checked off. And then how I personally like to approach it, and I don't want to make this more complicated, but I also love to just pick stories that I'm excited about sharing in that moment. Right? I don't like to be stuck to one story all the time because now I get bored. And if I get bored, I don't bring the excitement that I want to bring. So I believe it's very important that you keep being excited about the things that you're sharing because then it's truly authentic and not what a mentor of mine once said, faux-authentic. It's like fake authenticity. It still doesn't work. If you want to be authentic so bad, it's like that's not gonna have the same result as what you're actually looking for. Real authenticity is actually feeling it in the moment. So help yourself by genuinely be excited about what you're sharing because you're sharing stories that are genuinely excited for you to share. And that's why I love for you to be a bit flexible with these stories. That's why I said just pick one. You had probably 10 seconds to do that. You just had to go with one. Now, I'm not saying that this is a story that you also need to have in your keynote, but you are noticing that with just one story, practicing it for 2 times, you're creating a connection with someone else and you're already better than the first time. Now, for the third round, you might be like, oh my God, what is this freaking instruction going to be? Because I'm still not going to share anything with you. You're going to do the same exact thing one more time with someone else in the breakout room, same exact way. You get 2 minutes. You're going to listen for 2 minutes and we will come back. Okay, you got 30 seconds to prepare. The breakout rooms will be ready for you when you're finished. You will have 2 minutes to share it again. All right, the breakout rooms will be open if you are with someone you were already at and the breakout rooms are a little bit mixed up, just come back. Okay, you will be regrouped, but it should all be good. So see you back in 4. Were you double? Okay,
We were with each other before.
got it. Anya, have you been with Sean? And Laverne, have you been with Carolyn? Okay. Then we're gonna create a little shock for them because they will be like, what's happening with us?
Do we get extra time?
Yeah, you will.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, you can go to your room. Anya, you're not in a new room, but you can click on, I think it's 3 dots and then join breakout room again. Can you find it? Shania will be in the room. You know what? I will put you both. Oh, there we go. Anya found it. You can go
I
back
was
to
in,
room number 6. I know you were with Carolyn, but your room
Yeah.
switched to Anya.
all right, thank you.
And you'll get a little bit more time, so no worries.
All right, no problem.
You can click on join breakout room again.
Gotcha, thank you.
You got it.
For the world we're gonna make.
Let me be part of sharing dreams with you. You may be right, you may be wrong. Say that you may be in the world of free. To the world
Night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
All right. New group. Same question. Who in this room heard someone that was ridiculously amazing? Isn't that cool, you guys? It's you. It is you. I want to hear some quick reflections. Some quick ones. What did you hear and how was it for you to do it again? Charlene, Carolyn, and Anya. And Berwood. Charlene.
I was with Alex and he told this incredible story about what he does for his business isn't just about the events, it's his capacity to have connections and interventions that get his customers and his clients what they need like immediately. And that obviously takes years to develop. What I didn't realize was that when I told my story, that my story was clarified that for me, that's what I do. I take very complex situations and I do very simple interventions based on my background. And this story illustrates that so amazing. I've known that, but I didn't really understand it till Alex told his story. And I thought, so interesting. My story actually reflects the same thing about what I do and who I am. And with this incredible outcome of calm for the people around us and the people who are working with us, like, oh, it's just going to be done. Or it's just going to be handled. How did they do that? How did this person do that? So I didn't really see that the simplicity of it, of my own capacities until Alex told his story.
So good. So
Great
good.
story.
I always say, right? You never know what the power is of your story on someone else. On someone, I got a breakthrough in my own story by listening to yours. Thank you for sharing yours. Right? Beautiful. Carolyn, what about you?
I had Laverne, and one of the things that I really realized is that as we're all telling our stories, we add all these little extra adjectives, adverbs, clauses, and it just makes the story longer. And if you listen, they're really not needed. And Laverne was so precise of not adding extra clauses, phrases, and her story was very concise, very clear, and I need to do that too more.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. I always get that. Like, I want to just be more polished. I don't want to say ums. And then I say, well, in your daily life, do you sometimes say or do you add all those fancy words? Like, probably you don't. So why not normalize that normal way of speaking, or that in your way, Laverne's concise way of speaking, into the stage? Right? It's not so different. Once we see the stage as something different, we start to behave a little different. But what if we see this as a conversation with a lot of people at the same time? Right? This is where your anxiety goes down. This is where your pressure goes down. This is where your connection goes up. So beautiful observation, Carolyn. Yeah, go on.
She didn't put a lot of like, as we were walking down the da 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 da. That's not important. She goes right to the heart of the story. She didn't add a lot of like going down here, sitting down at the table. That's not important. She got really to the heart of the story and she stayed there. And that was really, it was art. It was an
Beautiful.
art.
Well said. Well said. And how was it for you, Carolyn, to do it for the third time? Did you experience a difference for yourself?
I was more like her. I took, as I was went along, I cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. There was stuff all over the floor as an editing was all over the floor because we all do that. and I saw how they were taking too much time. I was taking up too much time. How do I cut it the next time? How do I cut it the next time? So we're like being little editors in the movie thing, editing like crazy.
Yes, that's it. Well done. And because you have so many experiments, you're able to adapt faster. Just like what you said in the chat, Nicole, I realized I needed to add a quick detail because someone might not be familiar with US geography, right? Because you're able to test it faster and faster and quicker, you're able to see those little details, those little nuances. And this is just a 2-minute version that you just made up 10 seconds. Like you just chose this story randomly, and now every single time you get better and better. Anya, what about you?
What I really loved about Sean's story was that I'm going to use the words that it was really simple, and I mean that as the biggest compliment because it was such a beautiful share of an intimate moment with his daughter, and you could really feel the love and the connection that he shared, and you know, and it really for me brought home the importance of just giving kids time when, you know, as a parent, if you need them to do something, and the fact that I'm not going into too much detail, the fact that his daughter even just asked him to help him was just really, really beautiful. So it really, even though it was a simple story, I loved it for that. And for me, it made me realize I don't have to have a big grandiose story to have impact.
Yes. Oh, that is such a profound win, Anya. Do you remember the question, like, what is my coolness? Right? Like, I can come up with some things, but what is cool about me? Well, cool about Sean is exactly what you just said. And sometimes when you're living that, it doesn't feel cool or it doesn't feel special enough. But when you share it for someone else, it's like so profound. And that is exactly what we're looking for. We're not looking um to to almost look through a hero's journey lens and see all the heroic things you did in your life. It's actually to look at normal glasses and say, I actually am amazing just for this. And now it's my skill that I'm learning to pick the right stories, to connect them with the right teaching points, and make this journey as a transformation for other people, because this is good enough. I am cool enough, exactly who I am. So that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well done. Barut, what about you?
I was just listening beautifully. So I was with Nicole, and I really liked more like explanationally details. Yeah, I like that. I get in that story with her because, yeah, just like, the road, this road, this road. Yeah, yeah, I really, really like that.
Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And how was it for you, Barut?
For third time, I think I was listening to feedback from other people about my story, and I was implementing more of what they heard about my story in my last version of the story.
So you literally immediately implemented what you heard at the previous round. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
because yeah, so it's interesting what people hear.
Yes.
So when I was talking previously with Daphne, and oh yeah, yeah, she said this, and I thought, okay, so do add that as well to the story.
Right? Isn't that cool? It's like just 3 iterations, which is 6 minutes. You have like a
Mhm.
third level of your speech, and every single time you're gonna have those 3 different ones, right? The one prepared or not prepared, like just the one you're like kind of thinking of 10 seconds before you we open up the room. The one you did, and then the one you did, and also the one that other see you did, right? Because it can be different than how you did it. Everybody has their own lens, so that's what makes this beautiful. And before I'm going to give you now actually the next instruction on how to go to your next level based on the delivery, I would love for one of you to have the opportunity to do your 2-minute live here in front of us right now. And right after, I will give you another instruction, and it will help to use your story as an example of this is how you've done it now, and this is how we're going to implement this new instruction in the next round. So not only are you giving yourself an opportunity to practice, not only are you giving yourself an opportunity to practice last minute in front of a bigger group, but you're also helping other people to learn. So who would love to have that experience right now? Anya was first. But I want to acknowledge Carolyn and Daphne for giving yourself the opportunity to be picked. Beautiful. And that's what I want for all of you. That's why I basically share the same instructions twice, just to give you some time to process. Well done. Anya, when you start opening your mouth, your time starts. 2 minutes on the clock. I'll
I was going
actually
to ask if I have to stick to 2 minutes.
Yes, oh for sure. So I'll actually put the timer up because I'm able to see the timer, but you are not. So that gives you some visual as well. Ready?
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's go.
So I don't know if you guys know, but if someone is diagnosed with ADHD, they get offered medication. And one of the functions of this medication is to curb impulsivity. But is it really a bad thing? I want to share a quick story. In 2013, I started a coach's training. And on the first day, I met loads of people, including this guy from the Netherlands who seemed, to be honest, a little bit dull. But as we got to know each other in this group over the next 6 days, which was super intense, I got to know everybody a little bit. And I'd had, including a few conversations with this Dutch guy. But what I noticed was that he was there in my periphery vision in his Dutch orange raincoat all of the time. And I thought this is really strange. Maybe I'm making it up, but on the last day, on the sixth day, just before he left back to the Netherlands, he gave me this giant bear hug and told me, "I'm going to miss you." And I thought, oh, I don't know what that means, and I was very, very confused. But a week later, the course was restarting, and we decided to have dinner the night before. So we met up and walked to the restaurant and sat down. And about 20 minutes into this meal, he says to me, "Well, I think I'm in love with you." And I had no idea how to respond to this. But I decided to just ask him loads of questions. I knew he had kids. I asked him if he wanted more kids, and he said yes. He asked me whether I would move to the Netherlands. I said yes. And about 12 hours of interrogation later, I decided that this is it. I was going to be with this guy. And we hadn't even kissed or anything, but 13 years later, we're going strong, and it's a beautiful relationship.
Wow. Wow. Who feels like, this is such a great story. And it was on the dot. It was on the dot with the question. Well done, Anya. Well done.
The timer helps.
Yeah, it does. But that's the beauty that when you have a vision, you know 2 minutes. If I would say, can you do this in 3 minutes? I know you would be able to do it, right? Because there's clarity. So what's going to be really, really cool is the next version of this exact same story is going to be with this prompt. When something happened in the past, just like your story, right? What was the year again, Anya?
2013.
2013. So the story happened in 2013. And now Anya from 2025 is talking about the story that happened in 2013. The new instruction for all of you is going to be tell your story like you are teleporting yourself to the moment it actually happens, and then share it from that moment. So for example, and I'll paraphrase and I'll butcher a little bit of your story, Anya, because I don't remember every single detail, but just to explain it in a clear way. So you open with your question, then you can say, it started in 2013. I am I am in a course. I'm doing this course, and there's all these people, and I'm seeing this guy, and he has this red thing, and he honestly looks a little dull. And I'm even thinking like, and so now you're doing the exact same thing, but now you are teleporting yourself in that moment, and you're sharing like it is happening now. So it's clear that it's not right now because it's 2025, we know that. And you say it was 2013. I am, and then you just share it like the now. Can we get a thumbs up if what I'm sharing is clear? I'm not asking is it clear how you're going to implement it and are you going to do it perfectly? Is the exercise clear? Right? Instead of sharing something from the past, I want you to time travel to that moment and share it like it's now. What you're going to experience is when you do that, you will automatically add some thoughts. So Anya will say something, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, he looks a little dull, right? What you're going to notice is your voice automatically starts to change because you're actually re-experiencing it. We can overcomplicate the tonality and the pauses and all these things, and then we can add techniques, and then you need to practice the techniques. And then what's going to happen with the level of authenticity? Is it going to increase or decrease? It's going to decrease. It's going to be you got to think more. It's now this theoretical explanation. Whereas when we would just time travel and say to ourselves, we're going to experience it like it's now, what you're going to notice is that the dialogue, the way you're going to speak about it, is automatically going to change. Now, before I'm going to open up the room, I quickly want to see uh, the chat. Mine was a Saturday. I love this. And I agree with Evo. It doesn't really matter, right? So it's Saturday. You can even do this about this morning. So, like I am waking up and I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, 4:30 a.m. This jet lag is still not finished. Normally, I don't wake up at 3 a.m. What do you think when you wake up at 4 a.m.? Some of you might be excited. I'm not. I like to sleep, right? So it doesn't really matter. You can do it. You can do it for any time frame. You just want to make sure you teleport yourself to that moment instead of saying, and I looked at my alarm. You want to say, and I'm looking at my alarm. And what I'm thinking is this. Okay? Ready? You will be in a breakout room, most probably with someone you've already talked to. Okay? Maybe not. Maybe you will. This will be the person that you will be stuck with for 4 whole minutes, and you're going to do this together. Cool? Ready? You have 30 seconds to prepare. We'll prepare the breakout rooms for you. The same story, but now adding this new way of sharing a story. Time traveling. Get set, get ready to travel to the Zoom universe, into the breakout room with the person that is perfect for you for this round. See you in 4 minutes. Who had a good time traveling? Isn't it, by the way, really cool that this time I didn't ask you to raise your hand because you've been doing it for 4 times, you know now that that's the behavior. As a speaker, you're the leader of attention, right? When you don't say what you want, but you show what you want, people are going to do it. And when you create a certain pattern, people are going to run the pattern. That's just a fun thing for you to know in your speaking as well. But this is what time traveling does, you guys. Who saw a difference in the way you were sharing it? Ivo, share a little bit about it, please.
It was such an interesting exercise because I always realized that I was falling back in the old way of telling stories I was in the past. And I always had to remember, jump back to present tense, jump back to present tense, jump back to present tense. But I realized even by telling the story, it changed everything completely. The most difficult part is in the beginning of the story, I had the story and some results afterwards. So I didn't know how can I put in the results afterwards in the present tense, because then it's future and unknown. So this is something I still need to think about it. So if I'm telling about the past, I know what happens half a year later, for example. But if in the present tense, I cannot tell what's happening in half a year.
That's a
So
very
this
good
isn't.
question. That's a very good
But
question.
it's
I will answer it actually right now after Carolyn and Daphne, okay? But beautiful. Who also felt it was completely changing the game? Just like one small perspective. What you are going to notice, you guys, is when you do this consistently, it's so much more engaging to listen to. It's so much more engaging to listen to, because when you experience like is happening now, what is your audience going to do? They're experiencing it with you. And not to bore you with some brain science, but also excite you a little bit about it, is the brain doesn't know what's real or not. Right? So if I would talk very descriptively about this amazing, actually, in the Netherlands, we have this, Anja would know, we have a Christmas before Christmas, and our Christmas man entered the Netherlands yesterday, and now we have all these cookies. These cookies. So if I would talk about the specific cookies from the Netherlands, which are so delicious, then you would start to create saliva. And the cookies, I know this sounds like almost harsh, but they're not with you. They're here in the Netherlands, right? They're not on your cupboard right now. But your mouth would create saliva because you're anticipating and you're living this whole story about these nice cookies. They're very small, so you can have a lot. It's great. So, the brain is no real or not. So when you are talking about your story like it's happening now, they're actually in their own brain. They tested this many times with brain scans. Is that their brains are reacting like they actually living your story. So the connection that it will have with you as a person, but also the way that new memory is saved in their brain will stay there for such a longer time, because it's saved like an experience and not just as knowledge. And that's what you want. So this one instruction can completely shift everything. And this, by the way, for the podcasters among us, this happens in podcasts as well, right? Who can see that you can practice this time teleportation thingy in every conversation you have, in every story you talk about, right? This happens everywhere. Carolyn, what about you?
What I discovered was that when you do it in present tense, you're more efficient. You don't have to explain it. You're not going back and forth and back and forth. So you can condense it more if you stay in the present tense. And then you don't have to add extra verbs, extra adverbs, extra, I just thought it was so much more efficient.
Let's go. So we're making it a little easier. Cool. I can also bet that when you do this in this way, it will be easier to remember too, because you're experiencing it together with the audience. Daphne.
I had so much fun. First of all, listening to Carolyn, I felt like we were just at a party and I was listening to her story and I was right there with her and she described something with having a snake over her neck. And I felt it. I mean, it was so descriptive and so much fun. I told her I could listen to her all day because it was just there was just she was just so much fun to listen to. So it and I then I had to think of like, well, how am I gonna come even close to that? But I had fun with mine as well, bringing myself back to that time and using the descriptions that I felt in the moment. So it was an outstanding exercise. I had a lot of fun.
Good, right? We made the commitment to consider that it could be fun, and how exciting that after what 80 minutes you're actually experiencing it as fun. So good. So good, you guys. And this is just one prompt. This is just one lens that we're looking through. And already this can have a major change. Like what we talked about in the beginning, and definitely this has to do with your prep goal. It's like you're already doing so much better than you probably give yourself credit for. All of you, right? All of you are so, and that's why I love asking, like, who wants to brag about someone you listen to? And everybody's like, yeah, let me. If I would have asked, who would love to share how amazing you are doing? It was less excitement. That's why I don't. So it's easy to talk about how amazing someone else was, but if someone else keeps sharing that about you, then it must be true about you too. You know? There's always a difference how you experience yourself and how someone else experiences yourself, right? Or your story. So that first and foremost. And at the same time, there's so many different lenses that you can work on, right? There's the transformation lens, there's the storytelling lens, there's the choosing the right story lens, there's in the delivery lens, there's so many. Right now, we focused on the delivery, one lens of the delivery. And do you see how much of a difference it already makes? Right? You don't need to work on everything in order for you to crush it, right? If you would just focus on this one thing, if your commitment would be, when I get on stage in the speaking academy, I'm gonna commit to time travel, you're gonna notice that it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And then every single time we look at a different lens, right? So just to answer your question as well, Ivo, is okay, when I time travel, some of the parts of my story feel like they don't make sense right now, and it's actually getting a little harder. What you can do, and this is why we have the whole section on glue it all together, on transitions. What I would love to invite all of you to do is when you get these kind of questions, to either watch these modules or rewatch those models. And that is, how can I fit one part and connect it to another part? Because Eva, what you don't need to do is to tell everything like it's happening now, because it actually happened in the past, right? What you can do is you can basically say, I have a time travel piece from the past, but now I want to kind of like future from that past moment, but it's actually the present in actually where we're having now. So now it's getting a little interesting with times. So what you can do is you can do that, let's say past in the now, and then go to the actual now. And you can do that in different ways. And that's where the transition module will explain more, but I will share a little bit about it now. Is you can say, and looking back on that experience, what I now know is. You can also do this with a shift in your voice, where you can do something like, um, and now here standing in front of you, the insights that I got from that, I would love to share them with you. Would that be cool? Right? So now you're transitioning from a past to now a present where you can talk about what that experience got you. Does it make sense? Beautiful. So do you see that these are all Lego blocks? These are all puzzle pieces. And some puzzle pieces are stories, some are different times, like, and this is where it can get fun, because who knows for a fact that if you would do the exact same class next week, the exact same, but you would choose a different story, you would be able to do it. Right? And if I would ask you, can you now connect this story to something that someone else can learn something from, either with a reflective question or with a teaching point? Would you be able to do it? I'm not asking you, can you do it perfectly, but would you be able to somehow create some sort of transformation for someone else through it? Who here in this room already got a transformation experience while listening to someone today? Right? You're probably already doing this. Sometimes you're just unaware, and when you get aware, you can now change it consciously. And that's where the power really comes in. So, some of you are, I believe, in your 6th week already, and in 2 weeks, you're actually going to perform in front of the whole group. Isn't it exciting? Some of you already had your prep call, and I shared with you that you're able to invite guests to this moment. And I just want to reiterate that for in front of everybody. Also, if you're on this journey for 2 weeks, just know that when you are going to do this live, you can invite guests to your live performance. So just already start to think, who would you love to invite? Are there potential clients you might want to share this journey with? Or is it friends and family that you just want to share this with all your pride, right? You're going to get a link that you're able to share with them. What I also already shared, but not everybody was there yesterday, so would love to do it again for all of you, is you actually are the absolute first people in the entire world who are able to use the Lori Mobelis public speaking AI super tool, ChatGPT, for all of you to iterate and improve your keynote. So for everybody who wasn't there yesterday, I will share my screen again, because this is the one. This is the AI that you have access to. I will share the link with you in the chat right now, but you also are going to receive an email about it. And this AI is trained on the exact speaking blueprint that you're watching. The 4-hour course with all the different steps, this AI knows the exact same curriculum. So what's cool about that is you can ask, hey, and Ivo, you can play around with your question too. It's like, hey, this is my current story. I would love to time travel and do this like I'm experiencing this now. How would you suggest I would tell this story? Right? You can ask this GPT. Now, the thing is, it's called Lori Mobelis perfectly imperfect AI clone. This is not perfect, okay? So don't expect it to be perfect. Expect this to be your thought partner, your brainstorm buddy, your going back and forth, playing around tool. So you don't have to stay in your head and overthink things. This is your place where you can bounce things back and forth, so you keep being in movement. If you have any questions that you feel are unanswered or still unclear, just ask in the WhatsApp group, okay? The Sean and Laverne, your blueprint should be fixed by now. If it's not, just ask it in the WhatsApp again, but it should all be working. But just know that the WhatsApp is the place where you can ask any question all the time, okay? This is not to replace anything, it's just to help you out and make sure that you have more tools and more resources to help you on the journey. I was excited to try it out. I already got some really cool messages from people who were, and I think you were one of them, Ivo, who was already playing around with it. It's like, well, this actually works. This is pretty cool. So feel free to leverage it. It's time. We're going to close the Zoom. Are there any questions right now? Questions on the journey, really questions you're like, oh, I need to get this clear in my head, otherwise I'm not able to move forward. And for everybody else who doesn't have a question, you're absolutely crushing it. You really played full out today. I just want to acknowledge all of you for always like showing up on camera and leaning in, because that's how you get most out of this whole system. The system works. We've been doing this for years. The outcomes are incredible, but it only works when you lean in. And it's just so beautiful to see all of you really leaning in, asking questions, raising your hand, doing the breakout rooms, sharing your experience. So kudos to you. If you have to go, don't feel awkward to go. It is time. You've done the thing. You are invited to create a video and answer the 3 questions that we always do. What was your biggest aha moment of today's class? What did you learn? Number 2, what are you committed to do before we see each other next? For some of you, it might be, okay, I already created my whole talk. Now I'm going to do this time traveling thing because I didn't pay attention to that. So I'm going to do that now. For some of you, it might be, okay, well, I now used one story. Maybe I want to use this story now as my keynote. I don't know. Like maybe that's your focus. Maybe for you, it's practicing. Maybe for you, it's finishing the course, right? Whatever your next step is, make that commitment in the WhatsApp group and speak it out loud so you commit it. And number 3, so important, never forgotten. Who? Who in this group are you grateful for today and why? You've listened to a lot of stories of your peers, and I cannot emphasize enough that sometimes you see confidence and you think, I'm just not there yet. But then confidence is a perception. You never know how other people feel about their own experience, and you never know what people are going through, and you never know how much a compliment or just an act of gratitude or letting someone else be seen for their process and their progress means to someone else. Who knows for a fact that it means a lot to you, right? So who's willing to share today with someone else in our group? So in that video, just share who you're grateful for. And maybe it's multiple people. Just go abundant. Don't stop at one. Just go for it. Who's willing to do that right after this class? To do the video right away, not wait a week and like, oh my God, it's Tuesday, I didn't do it. Just do it right away. It's gonna help you out. Don't add stuff on your to-do list. Just do it on your fun action list right now. With that said, feel free to go, but I'll stay for any questions if they're here because I want to make sure you have complete clarity. Love you all. Sean.
So, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, so I have it all done, and I practiced it yesterday with Daphne, and you and I are going to meet next Tuesday, a week from today. So, knowing that it could be tweaked a little bit, how in depth should I go into practicing it, knowing that it could be tweaked? Does that make sense?
That does make a lot of sense, and I think that's a very, very good question. So, I'm gonna give a gray answer. Okay, so I'm not gonna create complete clarity, but you're able to think for yourself. I once coached this TEDx duo. There were 2. They were doing a duo presentation, and they had the same as you. They were done, but they were just they had me as like one last feedback round. They had a different coach. I was the feedback round. So when you ask me for feedback, I mean, I have feedback. So I gave them some really, really good needle movers. And after they did the TEDx, they came to me and they said, Lori, you confused us so much because we practiced our whole script and we were committed to that script. And then you asked us to change the script, which we were not yet, we didn't practice it enough yet for our script to feel natural, but we were too deep into it to actually be willing to change it. So sometimes, and this is where I would sensory cutie comes in also, like, you know, for all of us, is sometimes the next tip is not the actual best tip to share because you first want to do it exactly how it is, feel complete, and then go to the next level. Because there's nothing as unsatisfying as doing it knowing it's not going to be good. Because it will be good. It's just about how we see it. So that about last minute feedback. And that's also why you all get the opportunity to book your prep call in week 5 and not in week 7. Does it make sense? So you actually have some time to improve based on what you learn. With that said, I do believe it's really nice to practice as well. Because for you to not practice it at all, will give you a disadvantage too. Because when you get feedback and you then need to incorporate the feedback and then you need to practice and make it your own, that's also a process. So what I would say, and this is kind of where the gray area becomes your own interpretation and what makes most sense for you, because also everybody works differently and preps in a different way, is is to practice the stories that you chose. To practice the stories that you chose and deliver them every single time in a better way. And how you can do that is literally look at the course and then to say, okay, based on the transformation, does it make sense? Yes, okay, next level. Step 2, stories. What C is this story and why did I choose this story? Can I explain Lori later why I chose this story? Which is I asked Daphne some questions about her stories, and she was so certain and so clear on why she made the decisions that I was like, Daphne, you owned the skill of picking the right story and emphasizing why. Right? We're gonna move them a little bit around and change a little bit the way of speaking, but that skill, 10 out of 10. Right? So now you got to the next level. Okay, the delivery. Am I doing it in the now? Am I doing it in time travel mode? Am I creating pictures for people? Am I able to see people? So based with that, Sean, what I'm saying is don't stick with your practice completely to the script that you feel afterwards almost a little rigid about it and don't feel flexible to change it anymore. But do practice the chunks of your talk that will help you improve and be flexible. Because that is, in the end, also the behavior that we're looking for. We're not looking for this one perfect script. We're looking, it's almost like a live test where I'm saying, okay, why did you choose this? And you're like, oh, because of this. Okay, why this? Okay, yes. Nice explanation. I like how you're emphasizing this. Because in the end, if I'm going to ask you to change your aim and to change all the stories, the behavior that we're looking for, I'm not saying this works in one round of Speaking Academy, but this is just like the vision of it, that you will be like, no worries, I got it. So instead of being completely obsessed over this one script, I would love for you to be completely obsessed on the behavior. Does that make sense?
It does too. I think this works out perfectly because it's like 1 week here, I talk to you, and I have another week to adjust anything. So no, this makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Brilliant. Does it make sense for everybody? Right? Beautiful. This is the power of asking questions. You don't always have to know what to ask. Sometimes that's actually your question. I don't even know what to ask. Can you share me what you think I need to know? And just asking questions in the group helps everybody. Any other questions? Are we excited to implement what you've learned today? Are we excited to show up next Monday if you can and next Tuesday all together? This is the place, you guys. As you all know, the ChatGPT now is here for you. The WhatsApp is here for you. Who, by the way, and I just want to keep sharing this, who gets a lot of value out of other people sharing in the WhatsApp group? Because you kind of get reminded, oh yeah, the speaking thing is important to me. This is not just once a week or twice a week. Oh my God, this is what they're doing. Who gave Anya a 5-star review, by the way, or was it just me? I was the second one, so there was at least one person before, right? She shared it in a WhatsApp group. Just make sure you give her some stars. And I want to encourage you as well to ask your questions and to share your wins in between the Tuesdays. In the beginning, Nicole, you were so active with your questions, and that was incredible. Like, so many people got value out of your questions. So I just really want to emphasize, don't feel that you're asking too much or quote unquote stupid questions. Please do that. When it's every day, it's every day. Like, that's the opportunity you have. You won't be a bother, you won't be too much. This is the place to be seen, to be your too much version. We love that version. Be that light, okay? Barut. question, or is it your computer talking?
No, it is. So I don't know if it's the right, but like you're saying, the right place. But I am, I'm working through the course. And honestly, I just about my aim, yeah, I'm so confused because I just need to, I don't know, I need to, because I'm trying one, then because we were away with my husband this weekend, so we were talking about it. Maybe these are not the right people that you're trying to serve. It's just like, oh my God, well, what is the right way for me to do? How to stick to that?
Yeah. Who feels that too, by the way? It's like my aim on
Oh.
itself is like this whole exercise, right? So no, first and foremost, you are really not alone, right? Sometimes we's like, oh, we're behind because it's step number one of the 4 steps. We still don't know. No, 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 no. Like you are going to iterate and refine your aim forever. So don't
Okay.
feel that you need the complete clarity right now. If that's what you're waiting for, you will always be behind or feel behind because there will always be new information that you don't know. So what I would say for you right now is just pick one and please pick the wrong one just to give yourself some grace. I would love for you to pick the wrong one, the one where you know I'm certainly not going to take this one. But for now, for the sake of it, I will just pretend like it would. And then
Yeah.
keep going through because, and this is kind of the same answer on the question of Sean. Like in the end, Barut, like the behavior that you're training, it's not so much you pick the perfect aim based on our knowledge right now, because we're going to learn new things. So now we're developing. So if we would have the quote unquote ignorance that we would choose the right aim, then we are also saying we won't get new information that it might change, right? So no one here will have the perfect aim, including myself. We're all changing and developing forever. So you choose the one that makes most sense now. And the exercise that I want to give you is pick the wrong one, because now you probably have a lot of things that you think should not be it. So if you can choose all of them, now it becomes easier. You have more options. So that's number one. And then number two is the outcome is not so much that you choose the right one. The outcome is that you are able to pick one, now create stories around it that will actually facilitate the journey, and then deliver it like it would be real, so that, and this is the real important one, you guys, when you would change the aim, you understand how your stories can or should be different, and you're able to do that. So the behavior that we're looking for in the Speaking Academy is not to pick the right aim. It's to choose one for now and understand how to work with that. So what I would say, again, to make a little fun, is choose the wrong one or just pick the one that makes most sense based on what you know now. And then to just stick with that for the next 14 days. And then when you're listening to someone else, because Ivo is going to do his talk before you, Daphne is going to do his talk before you, Sean is going to do his talk before you, and you listen not to a 2-minute version, but a 10-minute version, and you're like, oh my God, this guy that shared his 2-minute version, he created this 10 minutes. I'm getting so inspired. Now I want to change my aim. I want to give you the permission that you can. And you're not completely building from stretch one because you now change your aim. No, that's the outcome that we're looking for. The outcome is flexibility. The outcome is understanding how to do this. The outcome is that you can change it based on the audience that you have in front of you, and not that your audience needs to change the keynote that you prepared. Right? That's the outcome that we're looking for. So just the fact that you're thinking about your aim tells me you're actually on the right track. You have multiple options. You will have multiple options. You'll have multiple sorts of audiences that you're going to talk to with multiple desires. So, does it make sense?
Thank you. Yeah, that makes me feel so much better.
Good. Are you happy you asked the question?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is
I
why
was hesitating.
Yeah, so this is why I ask, and this is why we just stay for 15 minutes or whatever time is needed, a little bit extra. Ask the question. Don't
Okay.
sit in your own misery, in your own doubt, in your own, oh my God, these people seem so much further than me. I should not ask this because this is a beginner question. No, no, no. Who's super excited and happy that Barut asked this and you feel relieved yourself? Everybody on this call, right? So now you know this is the place to ask your questions. Your question will always, always serve more than you. So if you're not asking something that's on your heart, you're doing the group a disservice. There's no judgments, there's no too much, there's no such thing in this community. We want your too much. This is the place
Oh,
to show.
nice. Thank you.
You got it. Anyone else? Desiring question, or are we good? We good? All right, you guys. Love you all. You're really crushing it. Keep going and see you next time. Bye for now.